Hi, everyone. Thank you again for joining us today on the Rise and Grind Real Estate Mastermind. I am so excited because we have Kosha Brown on. Now, Kosha is, let's just say, so I was talking about this a little bit earlier, but we'll just recap. So a couple of us went to a event in Nashville for the Girls with Grit, and Kosha was one of the sponsors of the event. So she got up there and was speaking about all of the awesome stuff that Box Brownie does now. And I know we have some newer agents on the call, so you might not know what Box Brownie is. So she's going to explain all that, but it's basically a photo editing company, right? Is that what you want to call it? And they do all kinds of amazing stuff, things that I kind of forgot that they offered. And it was a great refresher because I have used them since. I used them before to edit a couple photos. And I brought her, when she started talking about all that stuff, I was like, oh my gosh, I forgot about all of these cool things that they have. So I wanted to make sure we got her on here to talk to you all about the awesome stuff that Box Brownie offers for us to be able to market our homes in the best way possible, like a boss, if you will. So Kosha, thank you so much. I am going to hand it over to you, and Lee, if you'll give her host status or whatever, so she can, or co-host, so she can share her screen. And Kosha, I'll let you take over from here.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for having me. Yes, like Nicole said, I was there at the Girls with Grit seminar, I should say. It was an absolute great time. Got to meet a lot of amazing women. And so I'm super excited to now come on here and share everything that Box Brownie offers to you guys. So let's go in and tell me if you can see. Yes, can you guys see?
All good.
Perfect. Okay, and I am going to put my chat box over here. If anybody has any questions about anything that they see, that they want more information on, just put it in the chat and I will periodically look over at the chat box and we'll kind of go from there. So as Nicole mentioned, we deal with everything digital imagery related. So we deal with high quality photo editing, virtual staging, virtual floor plan redraws, renders, and all at amazing prices. So the title today is going to be Tools to Win Listings and Market Them Like a Boss. How many of you guys, if you can interact with me a little bit, how many of you guys actually use a professional photographer when you take a listing? Okay, a lot of raised hands. Yes, absolutely. So obviously during this time we've had to adjust because photographers are either super busy or they can't come out to the property or they can't come out in time for when the sellers actually want the property to be listed. So you guys have to adjust, but we always recommend using a professional photographer. And some of these techniques, they're not new. They've been around for a very long time, just not all the agents are doing it. So just want to refresh your memory and give you some insight of like what is truly important in proper marketing of your listings. Every year, NAR does a survey and asking the buyers and sellers what's the most important thing to them in terms of marketing. And these are always in the top 10 for at least the last 15 years. So good imagery, copy with essential detail, a floor plan, a 360-degree virtual tour, some kind of video footage, and obviously proper marketing online for that listing. So I'm going to go in there and kind of break it down and how you can use these things and put it into your listing presentation to win those listings, as well as how to properly market them and sell those listings for top dollar and the quickest possible way. So before you actually go to a listing appointment, I'm going to give you some tips. You're going to want to drive by the property and actually take a picture. Just drive by it with your iPhone or your Android. Take a picture of the property before you actually go to the listing appointment. Send it over to us. We'll enhance that image and make it absolutely good. So that's going to be one of the pictures that you put when you're on your listing appointment, and it's going to have their property on there. It's not going to be anybody else's. It's going to be their property. If the sun is in in the way of the property, just put your hand over the sun. No problem. Just try not to touch the property and we'll enhance it to make it absolutely gorgeous, right? So you're going to want to take a picture of the property. Statistics show that the properties that have this kind of imagery on a listing presentation, it just really makes you stand out in your listing presentation. And the next step further is to have a twilight conversion photo as part of your listing presentation. So having the combination of a regular image and a twilight image just really showcases to the seller the type of marketing that you do and the type of preparation that you actually did and gave them prior to going to that listing presentation. As well as when you go to that listing presentation, you want to have really an example of the type of essential detail that you provide for those listings. So that's really important. This lady she didn't know that we did copywriting. And when we mentioned it in one of our seminars, she was like, oh my gosh, I have to use you. She actually gave it to her sellers and her sellers were like, I want to live there. So you want it to have people fall in love with a property. If they can't necessarily look at the pictures, they want to be able to you want to tell that story. So we do provide really amazing copywriting as well. So you want to have that essential detail as an example in your listing presentation, as well as ask the sellers if they have a floor plan of the property prior to going to the listing. So they can either take a screenshot of it with our camera, send it over to you, and then you can provide them a really nice, clear image of the floor plan. And that just gives people the idea when they're looking online, the flow of the property. So now you went to the listing presentation, you have a beautiful floor plan, you have a really nice example of the type of copywriting that you provide, as well as the really nice imagery of the property, the front of the property, as well as a twilight image. So it right off the bat, it really makes you look good. So you won the listing. This is great, right? Now, after you got the listing, you actually want to send out a pre-photography checklist. Okay, so we actually provide a pre-photography checklist that you can download if you just go to boxbrownie.com/resources. You can download this and send this over to your seller. So now when your professional photographer actually goes to that listing, the property is all ready to go, ready for the images to be shot. So that's boxbrownie.com/resources, and everything's going to be there. So now, if you don't have a professional photographer, you want to make sure that you are really taking at least professional grade photos of the house. Okay, so if you can't get that professional photographer, you need to make sure that you are at least having a really nice, if you're taking the pictures, a really good tripod or monopod. You need to have a phone mount, for your camera, just to make sure that it looks good. But again, we still highly recommend that you do have a professional photographer, but we all know things kind of get crazy. And this is a time that you still want to make sure that you're getting really good imagery and professional marketing, those images of the house. So the professional edit images, if this is the case, like if you take a picture of the property yourself or a professional photographer took it and they took it at the wrong time of day, you can go in and we can really make the change. So, I mean, look at the difference there, guys. It absolutely just looks really great. We go through a 16-step process to really enhance every single image, and the cost is not at all expensive. It's definitely worth you just, man, the image is a little bit dark. I want to bring some crispness to it. So we can definitely take care of that. And this is called our image enhancement. So it's just really getting rid of those shadows. It's bringing back the image to way the eye actually sees the property itself. So it's really important for you to, again, showcase the property in the best light possible, right? And this is just, again, giving some really great examples of before and afters, and those tricky shots with its outside and inside. But in this one, you can actually see how the actual home, the walkway is a little bit crooked going outside, and see how we straighten it. That's actually one of our steps that we do. And again, it brings the image back to what the eye sees it. And when you're looking it online, looking at properties, that just really invites them, the consumers, in to see more of the property. And that's always the idea, right? Next, you're going to want to draw or redraw a floor plan. Everybody gets scared. Like, I don't know how to draw a floor plan. Guys, it's super, super simple. If you go to boxbrownie.com/resources, we actually have a blog on how to draw a floor plan, and we can turn it into, this is a 2D black and white image. We can then go into a 2D textured. And just so you know, that was written on a McDonald's napkin right there. That was a contractor. So again, we get everything, every single possible type of floor plan redraws. We will make sure that it looks absolutely gorgeous. I mean, look at that. And then the next level is that 3D imagery. So that is the different kind of floor plans that we offer. We even can go and actually get them branded with your colors, with your brand as well. So if that's of interest, just let us know. We already have some templated in our dashboard for you as well. Now, we do virtual tours, but these are more of a do-it-yourself virtual tour. So you're going to need some kind of 360-degree camera, like a Ricoh Theta Z. You want a monopod instead of a tripod, because it has a smaller footprint in the actual the home when taking the shot as well. And then, of course, you're going to want to use us for that editing. And what it does is it takes 15 dot locations and puts this into this beautiful immersive 360-degree virtual tour. Absolutely gorgeous. You don't have to be a pro at this. Just go in there. We'll give you, of course, some tips, and there's a blog with some editing information on how to set it up on your 360-degree camera. But this is absolutely, really looks good. And again, remember, every buyer and seller wants a 360-degree virtual tour, and this is a really inexpensive way to do it. Now, you saw that we can actually take it and make it virtually staged or unstaged. So again, our edits are endless in regards to what you can do. Now, video a walkthrough either with your smartphone or 360-degree camera. Again, some capture tips as well. You want to use the best device you can. You want to make sure the camera is steady at all times and go through each room slowly. And if you're doing it yourself, we recommend that you don't stop and take it again, and just go through every single room multiple times and do the editing afterwards, because obviously at some point, one of those, 5, 6 different sweep throughs, you will definitely get it. But the reason why you want to do a 360-degree walkthrough is then you can actually put this in your Facebook page. You can put it in your YouTube channel, and we can, if you upload the 360-degree virtual tour that we stitched together, we'll host those for you for free. But this is something that you guys can do for free for anything that you guys are marketing. So this is me actually scrolling around in the 360-degree virtual tour myself, looking at the property. So again, these are another tips that you can now showcase the property without having to be there. I mean, we're doing that more and more now, right? Going through virtual tours and showing the property without the sellers, without the buyers actually being there. Now, if you're not comfortable writing a really good description of the property, get somebody to write it for you. Again, we offer that tool for you as well. It's really important for you to tell a story about the property in written language. I know a lot of people are visual, but a lot of people are still really looking at how that description and some things that you don't want to take a picture of, but you can explain in the written language is really important. So definitely want to take advantage of that. And then how are you going to market that property, right? And when you market those properties, you are also receiving leads. So a lot of people actually go and they're like, this is a time where homes are selling so quickly that they don't feel like that they have to professionally market their property the best that they can, because homes are going to sell so quickly anyway. You have to remember that marketing is online forever. So you need to make sure that you properly market your listings, because down the line, people are going to want to look at like, oh, what kind of marketing did they do for that listing? What kind of marketing did they do for that home? So you're going to get buyer and seller leads when you are marketing your listing. So you want to make sure you always put your best foot forward in that case. So these are all different places that you're going to want to market that property. Now I focused here on Google business page. In this case, you can just see we made some small little edit changes in her Google business page. If you look at her professional picture, she had that blue hazy, like back in high school, kind of when you get your high school pictures image, and we just took that out. Now it's nice white and crisp. It really brings her forward in the image, as well as when you look at the properties down below. Now you see that twilight image of that first image, and it just kind of brings your attention to that property. Now, when she made those changes and she made all the different changes in the digital community on Google Business, she was getting, 833 views, 591 searches. Activity was really good, but she made those changes and now she had over 2,000 impressions, 51 clicks, and she got 3 calls. So just with making those small changes and spending a little bit of money on Google Business page to enhance that, she was able to capture a lot more leads than had she done. And again, she looks really good in her houses and her listings look really good. Now, again, if you are attracting more of the contractors or the builders, now this is a standard way where we see a lot of listings are being showcased online and marketed. Now, I want you to take a look at the views. The views in this case is only 312 views. It's been on Zillow for 73 days. This would be another example of, what you showcase when you're building a new home. Zillow, 14 days, 604 views. But take a look at this. Only in 27 days, 5,000 views and saves 265. So this is our actual renders. So if you are working with a builder or a contractor or architects, you can utilize our services of our renders, and the marketing goes, the statistics on it just goes through the roof, and how to properly market listings. Now, this is an example of our 360-degree renders. You guys, this doesn't exist. And this is the type of different floor plans that this builder offers. And we can all incorporate that in that 360-degree render. Absolutely gorgeous. Now, if you are interested in getting a little bit more help in optimizing your digital presence, we recommend a company called RealGrader. If you're interested in more information on RealGrader and having them reach out and giving you a grade on how your online presence is, put your email address in the chat and I will send it over to the founder over there, and he will reach out and he will help you make sure that you and your presence, and when people say like, oh, you sell real estate, well, what's that all about? And like, how many listings have you done? What do you think they're going to do? They're going to Google you, right? They're going to Google you and make sure that you look good. How does that look good? And they'll definitely help you out with that. So that is realgrader.com. Put your email in the chat if you're interested in having somebody reach out to you, and they will walk you through that. Now, when you're choosing a professional photographer, So many people think that they're a professional photographer and they're really not. They might be just doing it as a side gig, but this is how you can tell. You can look at their images, and in this case, you see in the back that looking outside, see how the windows are cloudy? That's not a professional photographer. You should be able to see clearly outside. In this case, see, this one's a little bit hazy, not too bad. This one would be acceptable in most cases, but definitely this one is not. See how it's a blue haze? That's not a professional photographer. So when you are choosing your professional photographer, make sure that you go out and really look at what they've done already, and it will give you an idea of how the professional outputs that they provide. Now, this is the type of imagery that you do want. So look how really crystal clear the outside is. That's the professional type of imagery that you guys want to out market in your outputs. So if your professional photographer is doing this, hire them. You're in the good. So there is an app out there if you are interested in trying to do this yourself. It's called bracketing. And so this would be an image that we've gotten in the past. But what bracketing does is it takes different types of exposure of the actual space. So it'll take bracket 1, bracket 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 5 different exposures, excuse me. And then this is the output that you get. So this is what you started with, and this is what you get with bracketing. So the app that you can use that, I'm sorry, I don't have an Android app, but the iPhone app that you can use is called Camera Pixels Pro. Camera Pixels Pro is the app that you can use for bracketing. And this again is going to be more of a do-it-yourself, taking the images, but taking them in bracketed different exposures. And we will blend all of those images together to have this beautiful output. So next we have twilight conversion. Nothing's wrong with this image. This is absolutely a gorgeous image. This just gets 4 times the clicks on the MLS. So this is really important for you to use as your first primary shot on the MLS, because there's something that brings the emotion that it attaches to the buyer when they're looking and searching for properties, that it just brings them in and wants to look at more of the images. So that would be your twilight conversion. Or they call it day to dusk. They turn on the lights, just put a really nice sky in the background. You will never see the sun in any of our images, because we don't want to give false advertisement of the whether the property is a east-west facing property or north-south facing property. And if you put in the description where you're actually located, our imagers will actually try to look at this type of sky colors that your area actually provides. So we definitely go that next level in terms of marketing for your day to dusk twilight conversion edits. Now, we also have those properties, right, that there's something that needs to be removed. They're either cluttered space, all very, very high-end realtors do this and you wouldn't even know. So it just removes the clutter, removes the distraction. So in this case, I don't know who eats that many eggs. I just don't want to see that in my property, right? So we're just going to get rid of that. And it looks, again, the way the property would be showcased if you actually showed up to the listing when you buy it, right? Then we go into virtual staging. Our virtual stagers are all CGI editors. So they are the same editors that actually do Harry Potter or Star Wars. So it's very, very real. They measure the space that's in the image. So you will never see anything that misrepresents the size of the space that you have. So really important for you to make sure that the furniture isn't floating. And again, you put the proper sized furniture in the room to properly represent the size of this space. Really important. Now, a lot of people say, man, I show up to the house and it doesn't look like that. What you can do is you can print this image and put it on a pegboard in the listing to give people the sight, to give them the idea of what the property could look like with furniture in it. So many people don't have that visual capacity, and this is a great tool that you can use to do that. Now we can combine edits as well with item removal plus virtual staging. So a lot of stuff's going on here. I want to look at the art. I'm not really looking at the space, right? So we just take all of that out and we properly virtually stage it. Now we can disclose on the bottom that images have been virtually staged if you so decide that you want to do that. But statistics show that 83% of staged properties sell faster and for more money. So really important. Now this is one of your own agents here. She actually did this, and we just took out that old furniture and put that in. I mean, how amazing does that look? I absolutely love this. This is also, if you have two different angles of the property of that space, you want to make sure that the furniture is the same as well. So when I'm looking at all of these, right? So this is the same space right here with here's this angle, and then here's coming from the other angle with the same furniture. Really, really important. And the person that this listing was Nicole. Nicole, I mean, tell me about your experience. Like, give us your kind of testimonial of like how you felt, what Box Brownie does, what your clients feel about it, everything like that.
Sorry, I was not unmuting properly. So that listing was actually not mine. That one was somebody on our teams. But however, one of the first photos you showed, the little brick ranch, that was my listing. So just for that situation specifically, I hired the photographer to come early morning. It was 9 a.m. The shadows were extremely harsh. There were sun flares in the photo. Like it casted a whole shadow on the property. And in normal daylight, in the middle of the day, the photos would have been perfect. But with the fact that I had to get them done super early in the morning, they were just really dark. So I was like, hey, I'm going to send this over to Box Brownie. And for like $3, I got my photos all enhanced. One of them, I didn't realize that it had sun flares in it originally. I just wanted it brightened. So when he brightened it, or they brightened it, I don't know if it's a man or woman, or if it matters, but the sun flare was in it. And I went, oh, shoot. So I just sent a message and said, hey, is there any way that you can remove the sun flares? I just realized it says sunflowers on the screen. Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm like a squirrel sometimes, sorry. So there were these sun flares in it, and I messaged them, and within, I don't know, 10 minutes, I had the image back again without the sun flares. So it's just so quick and easy. And for the photos that we just showed with the like very outdated furniture, bringing in the new updated furniture with the virtual staging, it just gives a lot of these people who are going to be buying these homes are going to be probably, middle-aged or so. They're not going to necessarily be people who love this old, floral pattern furniture and the green couches and stuff. So see, this is one, for instance, it was super dark. And I just realized too in this photo that my artwork is on the side of the house. Anyways, but this was so dark. So when we lightened it up, it just looks so much better. It actually like shows the property in such better light, and no pun intended, but it made it look really, really good. And with that other house, this one, we just needed it to be brightened. These were photos taken by a friend of mine. And I remembered being in his house and thinking we need these photos brighter when he sent them to me. So I used those. I thought those were a great example of how to brighten up the photo. The virtual staging one, those photos, like these floral patterns and stuff, like that's just nobody really uses that type of furniture anymore. So it really dates the property. So when you go to something sleek and modern, it just makes it feel renewed, makes it feel so much better. So I think we added both sets of photos to the MLS and just, put a disclosure in there about, some of the photos were digitally staged to show the potential of the property. Yeah. So I thought it was a really great idea. And it looked fantastic. So I'd love to live there.
I'd love to live there too with that furniture.
Right? Exactly.
Lovely. I mean, and that's what we get, you guys. We get it over and over again. So many people, like, they have outdated furniture and they're like, the house is fine, but those simple tweaks of just modernizing the home, we have 8 different styles to choose from. So whether you're in the country, whether you're in the city, whether you're targeting a certain, target audience, we can do something that really fits that for that. And most of our virtual staging comes back. I mean, our guarantee is within 48 hours. It's usually way before that. And all of our other edits are within 24 hours.
Mhm.
So absolutely great stuff there. Now, if you want to download our brochure in the currency or language that you are in, you just go to www.boxbrownie.com/PDF. We also have.
I'm so sorry. Can I just
Yeah.
say something really quick? Do you mind? So
course.
the other thing too, she was saying you have these different style options with Box Brownie. If you get your photo back and there's something that you're just not loving, there's maybe it's the middle of December and there's like a thing of tulips on the table or something like that, that you just don't, you're like, that just doesn't fit the space. You can easily send them a message and they will remove it and send it back to you almost instantly. Like, it's so fast, but you can send edits, which I think is really important because I'm a people pleaser and I would never, like, most of the time I'd be like, oh, it's fine. It'll be fine. But I do think it's something that I love about your company is that they're so easy to work with and you can be very specific. So when you're ordering virtual staging, you can say no plants, bed on this specific wall. You could like ask for colors. You can really specify what you're envisioning for this property. And then they will create it for you, which I think is just awesome. And it's reasonably priced.
Yes.
They're also great at, we had a situation where we were under the gun to get a property listed and the owners had promised to have the landscaping completed. It was in the fall and there was a ton of leaves on the front yard and their shrubs were overgrown. And lo and behold, the photographer shows up, nothing was completed and we could not put off the photos. So what we did is we sent the exterior photos to Box Brownie and they made the grass green. They got rid of all the leaves and they trimmed the hedges. And then that weekend, the landscapers actually came out. So it was perfect. And it was I think it was $3 to enhance those images.
Yeah. Yeah, our pricing is so inexpensive. And I do actually have something for you guys. I'm just going to jump to that slide right now since we're talking about it. For new Box Brownie clients, you're going to want to log in and sign up and use the coupon code RISE and GRIND, spelt just like that, capital R and capital G. So you're going to go to boxbrownie.com. You're going to free to sign up and you're going to want to enter that promo code. For every new user, you guys get $40 credit to use towards any of our services. Plus on top of that, you guys get 4 free images, 3 free image enhancements, as well as 1 Twilight conversion.
Oh my gosh. That's awesome.
Yeah. And we're a no subscription, no minimum use, pay as you go service. You guys, this is absolutely something that you should implement into your marketing because there's no reason, there's no contract. This is going to make you look good. It's going to make your listings look good. You're going to get more listings. You're going to get more leads from it. This is just a win-win all around. If you have any interest in any of like the additional like tools and how like you're scared to do some of these are the how-to checklists of blogs that we provide. You might want to just do a screenshot, or later on I'll actually copy and paste all of these and I'll put them in the chat so you guys can have all of those as well. And then again, if you want to look at any additional tips or tricks, just go to boxbrownie.com/B and you'll have the blog there for that. If there's any questions, I can go over anything. I love it. You guys are super simple.
Hi.
This is my contact
I was just listening
information.
to okay, Ben, I was just listening
Kelly,
to
mute yourself.
I love it. She's like, I'm listening. I'm trying to market myself better. I love it. I'm the director of business development for boxbrownie.com. That's all of my contact information. We have 24/7 customer service, but we're Australian based and I'm in the States. So if you can just send me a text, tag us when you do anything on social media, tag us on Instagram at Box Brownie or Kosha Box Brownie. We'd love to showcase your additional listings on our site. So thank you so much for having me. And yeah, if anybody has any questions or anything, please reach out. And I will make sure that all the links and all the things that I talked about, I will put it in the chat for future for everybody to be able to utilize and go to.
Thank you. Does anybody have any questions for Kasha about any of the stuff, or do you guys want to talk about anything that if you guys have ever used them? Does anybody have anything to say?
What would be the cost? Like, say you had a vacant home and the sellers didn't want to stage it, they didn't want to spend the money, and I know we would put, like you said, like a pegboard with all the those photos when they get there, but what would that cost to, say, do a living room, dining room, family room, kitchen?
Yep.
Maybe a master bedroom?
So we always, just for virtual staging, we only recommend doing 3 images. You don't need to do anything more than that. So we always recommend doing the family room, living room, kitchen, dining room area, and then a master bedroom. For each of our images for virtual staging, you're looking at $24 per image. And again, it's back with you within 48 hours. So if not sooner. And there's 7 different types of furniture style you can choose. As Nicole said, you can be very particular if you want plants in there, if you want artwork, if you want, furniture from, let's say, CD2, you can absolutely do something like that. Yeah, and way less expensive than having a virtual stager. An actual stager come to the property, right?
Right.
Great question.
Yeah. It's, the first time I used you guys, it was my very first listing, and it was photos were taken in the winter, and it was gloomy and gross, and half the grass had snow and half the grass didn't. And it just was like, it just did not look good. So I sent it to you guys. You changed out the background, gave me a blue background with some clouds. You helped kind of with the grass. It made it look not so dead. It really made a world of difference on the photo. And, it was so cheap. I think it's like $1.20 or something an image.
$1.60.
Yeah,
$1.60,
so
that's
cheap.
it.
So I did that one photo just for the main one, or no, I think I did the first few photos. So all the outdoor photos had that blue sky, but it made such a world of difference. And then, with this last one, I even with the professional photos, I still needed enhancement. So it was just such a great thing. And I think I spent $6. I don't even think it was $6 on the images to have them all done. And it was so easy. And I swear I had them back before, it wasn't even 24 hours that I had them back. So it was really, really amazing. So thank you so much for joining us. I really appreciate you. Thank you so much for the coupon code too. That's a lot of stuff we're getting. Can you repeat one more time what everybody gets?
So you're going to get a $40 credit that goes into your dashboard for you to use towards any of our services, as well as every new sign up person would get 3 image enhancements and 1 twilight image just to get started. So you're just going to go to boxbrownie.com, free sign up right there, enter the gift card or promo code right there of Rise and Grind, and you guys are off and running. And like I said, again, we're no subscription, no minimum use, pay as you go service. And I mean, we are here to really increase your guys' marketing and to make sure that you look good, you can win the listings. If you sell the property quicker, get leads from the property. We're all about education. If anybody here is brokers and they want us to do training for their office, I can absolutely do that for you as well. And yeah, we're just here to help. We're here to help make sure that you guys look good and your marketing looks good and you guys are winning and making money and selling properties.
Well, thank you so much, Kosha. I really appreciate it. If anybody has any questions, let us know. And I really appreciate the coupon code and you just taking the time to come and talk with us. Your company's amazing, so I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Yay. Thank you so much for having me. You guys be safe out there, be blessed, and be awesome.
Thank you. All
Thank
right.
you so much. We appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks everybody. So we'll be back next week with another Rise and Grind Mastermind. We're excited to have you guys. Thanks for showing up. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Take care.
Yeah.